Australia. Oh, he's hit this one, Miles. Great shot. Oh, it's a biggie. Straight over the top.
Kohli drives through the covers. It's into the fence like a tracer bullet.
Okay, back once again in at just another cricket podcast. Three of us straight going to the match. No surprises with India winning, but I think the main focus for India was to see if the top three gets a bit of batting or not, and if they can score some runs or not. They did get a lot of time out, more so for Rahul and Kohli. But Rahul's innings was a little scratchy. He was scoring at less than run a ball, and then Kohli found his way. He was actually he hit the first half century of this Asia Cup, and he's right now the highest run scorer in the Asia Cup after the first 3-4 matches. So, Devankar, I know you've seen a bit of the match and the scorecard. So. I'll come to the innings of Kohli first, right? So he looked good. He was scoring at 135. He middled quite a few balls and hit some lusty blows. Still a little far from the typical best of Kohli. But you think this way, he still is cementing his place in the number three, and he'll only get more confidence in his future matches that he's going to play.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's been looked at as somebody who's a definite, number three. If not, he chooses to step away or walk away, which I don't think would happen. Of a player of Kohli's stature, he would not be walking off. So he is a certain number three. Rohit is a certain opener. Doubts about opening partnership and everything. But if I come back to Kohli, I mean, if you've seen him, if you've noticed him, he's a very rhythm kind of a player. I mean, he also feeds off the non-striker batsman, the other side batsman who's playing. So if the other batsman too gets to be slow, I mean, it actually shows in Kohli's attitude also. Like what we see in the match against Pakistan. Both him and Rohit, they were actually finding it pretty difficult to get off the bat. But then again, I think Surya's innings today, with the way he took it off and with both of each other complementing themselves, did help Kohli in a way wherein he started scoring the runs in the end. So yeah, Kohli is a certain number three. You cannot tinker with that. Of course, nobody would do. And this innings would do him a lot of mental good as well.
Yeah. So and then Gopal, in contrast, Rahul played a lot of balls, 39 balls for 36, and even at that point, he was not getting back to the rhythm. He was not timing the ball. He actually hit a couple of sixes. One of them was out of a free hit, but he was not in a rhythm at all. So now is the key question: that do you really play a Rahul in the 11 because now you'll have crucial matches, or because if you play him, you have to drop Pant, right? Or do you have a Surya Kumar or a Pant open the order and drop Rahul in that way, because he's clearly not in form, right? And would you take that chance in some of the crucial matches with Afghanistan, Pakistan, and whoever is the other team that comes through?
It's a good question, Shant, and it's a very tricky question as well, because but the only point is, if the management thinks that the Rahul should play, I think he has to open the batting. Is my view. There is no point, because he needs some match practice. So I'll probably have one more match. I think the management is not looking at Asia Cup or the T20 series that is coming forward as from South Africa and Australia. They're looking at the T20 World Cup, which is going to happen in Australia. And for that, probably they are reading and Rahul with some match practices. So maybe
I'll just interrupt over here. See, this is my question, right? Why is the Asia Cup not important? You are playing against some of the top teams in a T20. Why will you still give him an opportunity? Because he did not look good in Zimbabwe. He doesn't look good in the first couple of matches. You have 7 more matches to play before the World Cup. If you want to try him out over there. But why will you drop an informed batsman like Pant and play him, whereas you only put him in more pressure, right? So I know what management decides, they do that. But if you were the captain, what would you have done?
See, I would have probably persisted with Rahul for a couple of more matches. If my intent was to open with him. See, if I'm going to drop Rahul down the order at 3, 4 or a 5, it doesn't give you the. I mean, he will not any which ways have number of balls to face it out, hence he will not get that match practice to play. On the other hand, since I mean today Pant played, he did not get an opportunity to bat. So it's a slowish wicket. You still have about another 3 matches to go before the finals that you're going to play it out. So you also need Pant to get into some kind of a batting practice as well. So for me, maybe I mean it's a very difficult question at this point in time.
So you are not going to change the team. You'll continue with the same team.
Given the form, I mean now Kohli is back in form. Rohit is scratchy. But then, I mean, it will be a very harsh call for me to drop. I mean, drop Rahul at this point in time just because he hasn't played in 2 matches.
Yeah, I'll come to Devankur. Sorry, but I know it was a slow wicket, but it's more of intent. Look at the scores of Surya Kumar Yadav. He had 68 runs of 26 balls, 6 boundaries, and 6 sixes. Right, so it's more of an intent. And my concern, Devankur, is that when you play with Rahul and he plays a slow innings, if he plays 40 balls, 40 runs, like what Rizwan did, you're done. You're done, and you can't expect a Sky or a Pant to come and play cameos every time, right? So how would you handle this, right? Because it's not looking good.
Yeah, I think the mandate from the team management is, I think, very clear to a certain set of batsmen, including Sky, including Hardik, including Pant, that whatever you get, go hit for the ball. I mean, nobody's going to question you for that. I was really surprised when Pant was dropped because I thought Dravid had made sure that he got Pant to that level where Pant started feeling mature himself. Like he wanted to take onus on himself and try to win matches for India. And he was showing that on the field, the way he was pacing his innings. Even when he was trying to hit the ball from his first delivery, he was showing intent and he was showing a lot of composure. So I was a little surprised when Pant was dropped. Karthik was taken in. That was what they were saying, that Karthik in for Pant. But I would say it was more Rahul in for Pant. And still persisting with Rahul doesn't make sense. I mean, if Gopal is saying that you cannot drop Rahul, but Rahul is just being, pushed into the team. He was never in the team. When Rahul was out injured, very unfortunate, there were others who had grabbed the opportunity and played well. So Rahul has to prove himself before getting into the team. You cannot just barge him in because of his past experiences. That's not how the current team rolls.
And then especially in Asia Cup, it's not a bilateral series that, it's a 3-match series.
And how do you ready somebody from 2 different pitches? I know match conditions are different. Match condition to be is going to be very different. Now, if you're thinking that you're readying Rahul with these slow and low pitches here in UAE for the fast pitches in Australia, I doubt that is going to make any sense. So with the intent of Rahul and even Kohli for that matter, I mean these two, number 2, number 3, slowing you down. If you had somebody of a fast pace coming at number 3 and then giving Rahul that breather, that space for him to actually go slow, maybe he would have taken it ahead. But 2 slow batsmen together, it is always a very bad sign for any team for that matter, not only Team India.
Yeah.
So anybody coming in later, whether it be Sky, Hardik, Jadeja, Karthik, everybody has to hit from the first ball. Thankfully, Sky's innings paid off today.
Yeah. I think the only other, and we're so focused on talking about how India is going to put their framework in the next few matches. The other weak link that everyone's talking about, and it's absolutely evident, is the fast bowling department. Avesh Khan. I mean, if you have to keep someone like an Avesh Khan, why did you not pick Shami, right? So and then he is not someone coming with a lot of success in the previous opportunities that he got, right? There are other bowlers that you could have picked, even for that matter, Mohammad Siraj, right? But why Avesh? And even today, I think against the match against Hong Kong, how much he gave away 53 runs, right? 53 runs, and it's not because it was edges and all. He was just bowling bad deliveries. On a slow pitch, he was hitting 140 mark, which was short and wide, which was not at the stumps, which was not threatening. So seems like we do not have a lot of fast bowlers in this squad. And if you drop him, it means you have to get one of your spinners or Hardik Pandya in the first 6 overs, right? So, I mean, what do you do with this attack, and then how can we, in a way, fill the gap? Do we continue to play Avesh, or do we, take that risk and bring in an Ashwin or a Vishnoi?
Shantan, in fact, today both the fast bowlers, barring probably Bhuvi, both Arshdeep also didn't bowl well. If you look at it, I mean his rhythm in the Asia Cup is still not the best as we had seen in Zimbabwe or in the West Indies tour. So that's a bit of a concern for as well as the fast bowling areas. Both of the, I mean, even if you drop Avesh and then bring a spinner, and if Arshdeep goes for runs, you really don't have an option now in the power play itself to bring in spinner or someone like a Jadeja or even probably a Hardik. So then what happens is Hardik becomes the mainstay for you, bowling before 6 overs, and then he has to probably compensate it out in the 10th over. But yeah, given the choice, I would probably, yes, given Ashwin has actually bowled in IPL and in many matches within the power play, I'll probably give him one opportunity there instead of Ashwin, because anyways Ashwin is not working us out. So
Sorry,
maybe
so you're going to give a chance to Ashwin in place of Avesh, is it?
Avesh, yeah, bring him.
Yeah, I think, and that makes sense, right? I mean, for sure, Ashwin is not going to go for 50 runs, right? And he gives you that extra batter option as well.
Exactly.
So I think the next match for India is almost India versus Pakistan on Sunday. So Devanka, you play with the same team. It's going to be the same venue. You play with the same team. What changes do you think India is going to make?
No, I think Pant opening. I'll drop KL Rahul. He's got enough.
So Rahul gets dropped. Pant opens,
and then I have Kohli coming in. I have Sky coming in, and I would rather get Bishnoi and Chahal playing both. I'll drop Avesh because Hardik is coming back. So we'll have three pacers, and Bishnoi.
Then we have three spinners as well.
Three spinners as well, with Jaddu doing a very good job today as well. And he's been spinning the ball. He got 2 overs against Pakistan, and he spun one ball right across Iftikhar. If you remember, right?
Yeah. That was a lot of bounce as well.
Yeah, so the same pitch, not the same pitch, the same ground, similar kind of a pitch. I think Jadeja could do wonders. I noticed one of the commentators speaking today saying that if Hardik and Jadeja plays together, why not both of them get the option of bowling out both their 4 overs? It is like Jadeja who misses out on bowling his 4 overs. And that was a very pertinent, I think it was Scott Styris who brought this up. And it was a very good point that he said, that both of them, if playing together, should be bowling their 4 overs, because these guys are of that mantle that these guys can carry off their 4 overs well. So that reduces pressure on such underperforming bowlers like Arshdeep or Avish for that matter.
Yeah. See what you. Sorry, just one point. See, what you do is, if you have your sixth bowler, you plug him 1 over or 2 overs in middle, because let's say one of your prime bowlers get hit in your 16th or 17th over, you cannot give a spinner in the 18th, 19th, and 20th. So that's the mistake that Pakistan did, keeping that guy I think Nawaz for the last over. So you have to plug in a couple of overs, and he's not your typical sixth bowler. He is your prime bowler. You do that, that gives you a cushion that in case one of your bowler goes for runs or hits a cramp or is injured, then you don't have to depend on those finishing of his quota at the end as well. Okay, so last couple of questions, since we plan to keep this a little short for today. So see, the next couple of matches are interesting, right? And then one tomorrow is extremely interesting, and it's a very straightforward, easy equation. It's Bangladesh and Sri Lanka. Forget about the run rates. Whoever wins moves to the final four, right? So Gopal, if you have $1,000 to bet on, which team are you going to put those $1,000 into? No emotions, but pure brain.
Yeah, I mean, see, I'll actually put my bet on Sri Lanka, given probably they had a very off day against Afghanistan on last Saturday. But they were the number 2 in my list. So I still feel that they have it in them to get into the Super Force. And Sri Lanka probably would also be aware that with respect to Bangladesh's batting, you have only Shakib-ul Hasan and Mushfiqur Rahim to remove it out. So I'm hoping that tomorrow Sri Lanka plays well and then they beat Bangladesh.
Devanko, you place the same dollar on that same team?
Yeah, Sri Lanka for me, yes.
Okay, so it's 3 people saying Sri Lanka, because I'm hoping for Sri Lanka as well. Yeah. I think it's a lot better team. And then Bangladesh probably are down in confidence with all the losses that have happened. And
Yes.
obviously, it's Pakistan who wins against Hong Kong on the match on Friday as well. So that sets up the final four beautifully. So we're looking at India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Sri Lanka, right?
Sri Lanka. Yes.
Most probably. Okay, so maybe one last question. I think and then I will watch over the highlights again and again because it's after a long time. Kohli is hitting a 50, which is not scratchy. It's a little slow to start off with, but that's how he plays, right? He ended with a 135 strike rate. And the moment Sky came in and started hitting the ball, he actually was playing second fiddle to Sky, right? I was just thinking, guys, the quality of bowling or the number of runs that our fast bowlers gave. If Sky came in 3 overs late or didn't play that cameo, we just won by 40 runs. It could have been a very touch and go situation in the match today as well. So, well, I mean, it's a little worrying, our bowling department at this stage in the Super Fours. But uh, any final thoughts on the match, or not final thought? We'll obviously have our discussions before the match against Pakistan, but any thought on what should India really think about focus from now till the match against Pakistan on Sunday?
See, I think definitely your point of Sky coming down the order and playing that cameo was a very, very important contribution. And I also believe, Shantan, I also believe Hong Kong made up that error. There was an LBW that was actually very, very
No,
close.
but that was not out, Gopal. That was not
I,
out. So me and you were speaking. So they actually showed that later as well. They showed the Hawkeye. So it was missing the stump.
Missing? Okay.
Yeah.
That was one.
It looked. Yeah, because in the naked eye, I thought it was out.
Correct.
Because and then they showed it in the Hawkeye that it was missing actually.
There was one more thing. There was this leg spinner who was bowling for Hong Kong. I forgot his name. We bowled only 2 overs. I was a little surprised that India were actually not scoring well against the slower bowlers.
Correct.
The off spinner as well as the left armer. I would have probably given him that extra 2 overs and probably checked it out instead of giving those 2 extra overs to the fast bowlers where Sky was actually beating it out. So one was that point. The second piece was, yes, you are right. The fast bowling area is a concern without Bumrah, without Shami. I mean, it is a bit of a concern, no doubt about it. And we don't have options right now, as you know, we really don't have any options with fast bowling. So my take and Chahal also probably Shantan, Chahal is also not bowling that well. I mean, I'm not. I mean, he's not giving that confidence to me that he's going to pick up a wicket in his 4-over bowling spell. So maybe for the upcoming match, I would have probably bring in Ashwin for Avesh Khan and may still drop Chahal for that match or rest Chahal and then bring in Bishnoi to just check it out.
There is no rest for sure. You'll probably drop. You cannot rest because every match in the next format is important.
Yeah, it's important. But then I'll have to drop Chahal. I mean, I'll have to see how these guys perform it out because Chahal has not been looking dangerous as he should look into it. Even today in today's match, I don't think he was bowling that. I mean, he was not.
He's been economical, by the way. Okay, so he's not. At times in 2020, obviously see in the first match, all the wickets were taken by your fast bowlers, right? So and even today, he went for only 18 runs. He did not. So I don't think he'll be dropped. But if at all, maybe Ashwin or Bishnoi can come in place of Avesh Khan. Any final thoughts?
But you also want to give an opportunity to Deepak Huda, who's benching it out.
Come on. Devanku, you think there will be any more changes in the squad in the remaining matches? No. Gopal wants to play the entire squad and give each one of them a medal, right?
No, against Pakistan, I think Avesh would not be playing. I think so. That's the only change he'll make. Batting wise, they are going to go ahead with the same team. Rahul is going to open with Rohit, unfortunately, sadly. And Pant might still continue for DK, I guess. And Hardik comes in. That could be one change. Maybe DK hasn't gotten opportunities, so you can tick that box of saying that DK hasn't performed, our top batsmen are playing. So get in Hardik. Hardik has to play. Hardik is an important cog in the wheel. So DK might be dropped and Pant is continued, and KL continues. He'll not be dropped, but Avesh definitely. Avesh has to be dropped. You cannot continue with a bowler that you know that is going to get hit for more than 40 overs or 4 overs, giving you no wickets. You cannot go ahead with that.
Okay. So for you in the next match, and this is how we'll end. So for you in the next match against Pakistan, you see Rahul retaining his place. You
Yeah.
probably feel that Pant will come in place of DK, and then you
Yes.
feel that either of Bishnoi or Ashwin will
Or Ashwin.
replace Avesh Khan. Gopal,
Yes.
for you, you want to see Ashwin coming in for Avesh, and you want to see a Bishnoi coming in for Chahal, but at the same time, you want to continue with KL Rahul. For me, as much as I hate to say this, I see this team not changing at all, because
Okay.
last time it was India who bounced out Pakistan, so they'll not want to go with one less pacer and Avesh bowling the fastest in a way. For some typical
So you
reasons,
mean
they'll
the
persist
first
with the
match?
team.
No changes on the first match, right?
Yeah.
No
I think
changes
it's
for
going to be the
team that played.
I think so. See, Hardik, they just protected Hardik in today's match, right? He
Yeah.
doesn't need to play in all the matches. I think it's going to be the same match. Pant will get dropped. DK will still keep his place for that cameo role that is kept for the end, and Avesh will continue to play. I don't like that team because at least I would expect Rahul to get dropped and Pant to come in. But unfortunately, against our liking, that is how it is going to be. Thank you so much, guys, for another episode of Just Another Cricket Podcast. We are bringing this every day back to you. So, if you're liking our content, please give us a thumbs up and please subscribe to our channel. That will inspire us and help us put in more content and come and put these shows again and again. It's been already late at night. Thank you for watching this once again. This is Shantan, and on behalf of Gopal and Devankur, we sign off. Take care. See you soon. Bye bye.
Bye bye.